Today we're featuring a watch from my collection on the channel. This is my Omega Speedmaster Mark II. This is a watch that is a vintage watch that I've made videos about in the past. I'm remaking this video today because I want to make it in greater detail with better video and audio. My original video that I did for this watch was very early on in the channel, so I wanted to redo it today. This is it right here on my wrist. It is a vintage example of a Mark II Omega Speedmaster, and it's one of my favorite watches in my collection. I've actually modified this watch. I've had it serviced from Omega, and we'll talk about all of that in the video today. Anyway guys, let's flip the camera and take a look at my vintage Omega Speedmaster Mark II. So here it is. This is my Omega Speedmaster Mark II, a watch that I bought at an estate sale for only $650. It was broken when I bought it, in a lot worse condition. We'll get back to that in just a minute. I've made a video about this watch already here on my channel. However, I wanted to make that video over again because it was very early on in my channel, and audio and video here has improved, or at least I think it has improved over time. So I'd like to reissue or remake some of the videos that I did for watches that are in my collection. So I'm going to start with this. This is the Mark II Speedmaster that I bought in an estate sale for $650. I actually also made a video about the service that I did on this watch. I actually serviced this watch. It cost me around $900. I sent it back to Omega. One of the very few times that I've ever serviced a watch with the manufacturer, but I decided to do it with this watch because I thought it was so cool and I really wanted it to come out very, very nice. I asked them not to polish the watch, and of course they did. They replaced the glass, they replaced the hands, the crown, and the pushers. So everything that you are seeing here is new, and they also polished and brushed or refinished the entire case. This bracelet came on the watch. It is not an original Omega bracelet. However, it's actually pretty nice. It's made in Hong Kong, but it works really well and matches the case very nicely. So I actually kept it. I think it looks good. So you do have new hands on here. They gave me all the old parts, and you do have a new mineral crystal. This does have the racing dial. That dial is original, and I kind of fought them on changing that as well, and I'm really glad that they did not change the dial, so at least I won that battle. They polished the case, did not charge me for polishing the case because I never asked for that to happen. I am pretty happy with the results of the polishing of the case. There is some little rough edge on some of the edges of the watch, but other than that, it almost looks like a brand new Mark II. They actually reissued these watches, and there's a few slight details that are different between that watch and this watch. However, not many people would know the difference, and not many people would know that this is a watch from the 1970s. This looks really good. Now I have the chronograph running here. Everything lines up very nicely and runs very smooth. Obviously, since we have new hands on here, there is new lume. The lume on the dial, not so bad. We will do a lume shot towards the end. One of the things I love about this watch, and vintage Omegas, a lot of vintage Omegas, they are larger. This is a 42 millimeter watch. So we'll just do quick measurements on here. So it's 41 and change. With crowns, it's obviously going to wear a little bit bigger. It does wear like a 41 or a 42 millimeter watch. Thickness here is going to be a little bit thicker than your standard Mark II, and there's a reason for this because this has been modified, and I'll show you that in just a second. This is 15.3 millimeters thick, and then the lug to lug on here, actually a very nice lug to lug, and if you throw this on a strap, it will wear at that 45 millimeter lug to lug, but I have this on a bracelet which kind of makes it a little bit longer, and that's 48.6 millimeters. You won't notice that at all. Now what I did here, and I'll do close-ups so you could see it, you could see the 861 from the back, and that's because I put a sapphire crystal screwed in case back. One of the things that they really screwed up during the servicing of this watch was the case back. The case back was already very, very worn, and they decided to brush the case back, and it looked absolutely horrible. And I was really disappointed when I saw it. So I actually have it in a drawer somewhere. I went on eBay and I actually found this case back randomly, and I bought it. And I got it for a great price. I think I paid like 50 bucks, something like that. And it looks phenomenal. And obviously the 861 is no slouch. It's a good looking movement made by Lamagna. It is a very nice movement to look at, and I really do enjoy it from the back. Actually flipping this watch over and looking at the movement very, very often. Now, with that being said, obviously it does add some thickness, so that case back does add thickness to the watch, and I would say it's about 1 millimeter thicker than it normally is. All in all, not really that bad. But all in on this watch, I've paid around $1,600. So servicing and tax and shipping and all of that good stuff, it cost me about $1,600 to buy this watch and have it serviced. I will say that when I bought it from that estate sale, it was working. So it was telling time. The chronograph did not run, and it was in very, very dirty, beat up condition. I cleaned it up. I tried to get it working. Obviously, I don't have those skills, so I went to my local AD and I found out how much it would cost. They told me it was around 800 and change. That's what it came out to. It was like almost $900 to have this serviced. I think that's a lot of money, especially considering I only paid $650 for the watch, which is kind of ridiculous. Now, if I wanted to sell this watch, I probably can only sell it for around $2,500 in that neighborhood. So obviously, this is a watch that I'm going to keep. That's the reason why I did service it, but I think it looks fantastic. I think this is a phenomenal looking watch. Obviously, it's a Mark II. This was meant to replace the Moon watch. However, it was not accepted by NASA, and this never went to the Moon. Now, does that make it a bad watch? Actually, in my opinion, I think this is one of the best looking Speedmasters that you can get, especially if you like a 70s design. The barrel case on here is awesome. I love this watch so much, I will never sell it. Manual wind, obviously, just feels like a substantial watch on your wrist, and it's really nice. Anyway, very quickly, let me throw it on my wrist, then we will do a quick loom shot and wrap up the video. Today, I have a watch on that I'm going to be doing a review of next. I'm going to be redoing the review that I did for this watch. I think the original review that I did for this watch, and this is a Panerai Carbotech, I did while I was waiting in my car for my wife to come out of the grocery store, and I did it on my iPhone. So obviously that was very early on. I think it was one of the first videos that I featured here on my channel, and a lot has changed since then. I'm actually sort of taking this more seriously, so I would like to redo that video. Not that I'll take down that other video, maybe I will, but I would like to redo it and just do it justice, do the watch justice, and really do myself justice also, because it's kind of important to me. So here is the Mark II on my 7.5 inch wrist. It's basically a 41 millimeter watch, although most websites call it a 42 millimeter watch. It wears like a 41 or 42 millimeter watch, and it looks absolutely fantastic. These are very good looking watches, and I love that racing dial. Beautiful watch, really is a gorgeous, gorgeous watch. And like I said, this one almost looks like a brand new watch because it's been essentially overhauled completely. The bracelet looks really good on here as well. This is a very cheap bracelet that came with the watch. I really don't have any complaints. Eventually I plan on getting a period correct bracelet for this watch. I think it would sort of complete it, but until I find the right one at the right price, this is definitely going to do the job, so not a big deal. Very quickly, let's do a loom shot. We could tell that the hands have been replaced, and obviously the loom on the dial immediately fades. So let me show you how quickly it fades. I'll charge it up for a few seconds, take that away, and there's the loom on the indices, and before you know it, it is gone. That is very, very quick. It lasts just a few seconds. Unfortunately, Well, fortunately, actually, I would say it is the original loom, and that's because the dial wasn't replaced. So I'm actually very happy about that. The hands obviously hanging on because they are brand new hands. Oh well, you know, that's the way it is, I guess. They didn't really listen to me 100%, and I didn't really complain about it either, because when I saw it, I was actually pretty satisfied, except for that case back, which I replaced. So tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the story? I know $650 is not a lot of money for this watch. $900 to service it is a lot of money for this watch to be serviced. But that's kind of, I made a video about not servicing your watches, and you know, it was a situation where this needed to be serviced because it wasn't working. So I wanted it to work, so therefore it needed a service. Did I need to go to Omega? Probably not, but that's what I did. Anyway, guys, I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas. I know today is Christmas Eve, or this should be airing on Christmas Eve, and I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas for those who celebrate, and obviously happy holidays to everyone else. Happy Hanukkah for whatever you celebrate out there. I hope you are enjoying yourself and you're with your family, and you are safe. Thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.